Well, look, first of all, congratulations. Both of you guys were.
We're not there yet.
You're further than anybody said you would be. And I have enough class, and I was raised well enough to say when you outdo,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When you outdo expectations, good for you. But there's another side to this. People have talked about a miracle. I'm hearing about a nightmare. It's hard to be a parent tonight for a lot of us. You tell your kids, don't be a bully. You tell your kids, don't be a bigot. You tell your kids, do your homework and be prepared. And then you have this outcome, and you have people putting children to bed tonight, and they're afraid of breakfast. They're afraid of, how do I explain this to my children? I have Muslim friends who are texting me tonight saying, should I leave the country? I have families of immigrants that are terrified tonight. This was many things. This was a rebellion against the elites. True, it was a complete reinvention of politics and polls, it's true. But it was also something else. We've talked about race. I mean, we've talked about everything but race tonight. We've talked about income. We've talked about class. We've talked about region. We haven't talked about race. This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes. And Donald Trump has a responsibility tonight to come out and reassure people that he is going to be the president of all the people who he insulted and offended and brushed aside. Yeah, when you say, you want to take your country back, you got a lot of people who feel that we're not represented well either. But we don't want to feel that someone has been elected by throwing away some of us to appeal more deeply to others. So this is a deeply painful moment tonight. I know it's not just about race. There's more going on than that. But race is here too. We got to talk about it.
It's everything. Van, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Tell them the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. I can't breathe. That wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up and you're getting these tweets and you just don't know, and you're going to the store and people who have been afraid to show their racism are getting nastier and nastier to you, and you're worried about your kids and you're worried about your sister. And can she just go to Walmart and get back into her car without somebody saying something to her? And you spent so much of your life energy just trying to hold it together. And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters. I just want my sons to look at this. Look at this. It's easy to do it the cheap way and get away with stuff, but it comes back around. It comes back around. And this is a good day for this country. I'm sorry for the people who lost. For them, it's not a good day. But for a whole lot of people, it's a good day.
Wing, tension.
Yo, what is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, what's going on? Shouts out, what up, Jermaine Thompson? What up, my brother Bakari, Black Megas, shouts out to y'all in the building, And today, I'm not gonna be like I said yesterday, I probably shouldn't even have done it yesterday, but today I do wanted to talk about something and I don't want to make it long. So I'm gonna go through what I want to say, and if you have an opinion on it, you can come on. For real, he was indicted on felony charges. Well, yeah. But listen, man, I want to talk about something because I know that it's about to be about time where they're about to drum up the lesser of two evils. And let me tell you, like I'm tired. Like I gotta go back to listening to other stuff now, because it's like almost driving me crazy. Listen to, a lot of their logic. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, and it's driving me crazy. But it's a whole lot of stuff. And then they're super obsessed with us. Like, and that's all of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know their backgrounds. I know they come from all sorts, but they just obsessed. And I wish I could show you some of this. Like, yo, it was a mulatto girl on there trying to suck up to him. It was just, you see all of this stuff play out, you know what I'm saying, in their atmospheres and stuff like that. And it's, but it's pretty Euro stuff. So it's hard for me to, be able to listen to on a consecutive basis. But I know now is about to be time for, they about to come back around talking about, lesser of two evils. You know what I'm saying? We have to get this old white dude, you know what I'm saying, um, into presidency so that Donald Trump don't exist, you know what I'm saying? But I was just watching some interesting stuff, and I just want to keep up with like the political scale. Hopefully I don't got to talk about this too much, you know what I'm saying? But um I just was just tripping, you know what I'm saying? When you look at what's going on, I was looking at what's going on with the black representatives that is trying to, and I just thought all of it was pretty funny, you know what I'm saying? Because no matter which way we go, you know, like the alarm clocks is already set, you know what I'm saying? And we all go get that call one day, So let me go through it so I don't make it long. And if, like I said, if y'all got an opinion, I'll put the link in the chat after I show some stuff. But you know what? Before I do, let me show this one more time. I wanted to show all of them, but I'll spare y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's just to set it off as your current president. Oh man. Oh man. This dude like 84 falling on the stairs. Why is he riding a bike, yo? No damn well he ain't rode a bike in years. All right, yo, so let me actually go to it, right? So let me just set it off with the current people, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm only gonna play a minute from this because I'm going a whole different direction, but this just to set it off, right? So this is good old Kamala Harris going back to HBCUs, talking about now it's time to fight for our freedom to run for the same office that she's already in, that she didn't. Um, I mean, I don't know what she was doing this whole time to fight for this freedom that she's talking about. But I mean, let me see.
Consider the real HU and who will win the football game.
Excellent academic institutions that I decided.
Decide to embark on this journey.
Well, let me start by saying that, you know, I cannot tell you how I feel to be in this auditorium with these young leaders of our country. I remember, you're now 3
Now
weeks.
she's going on an HBCU tour, you know what I'm saying, and through dozens of public universities and HBCUs specifically, right, to talk about it's time to fight for our freedoms tour, you know what I'm saying? And she's, I guess, starting with Hampton University. And of course, it's election time. Now, I don't, like I said, wasn't she like there for like 4 or 3 years, however long they was there, and now it's time to fight for freedom. So, like, what the world's been going on this whole time?
Weeks into the start of school, I
black-
remember,
a
so
black
at Howard,
woman.
we would convene at Crampton Auditorium. And I'll never forget, from the first day of school, freshman orientation, walking into that auditorium, just like this one, and realizing later in life that on that day, I met people that would be my friends for life.
I think she said
And
something.
so
I ain't
that's
listened
why
to
I
all
wanted
this.
to
But
start this tour here, because I know what this school, Hampton University, means to the future of our country and our world. And so I am here for one reason, because I'm clear about that as the Vice President of the United States of America.
all right, so there you have it. You know what I'm saying? That's the acting black, quote unquote, vice president of America right now. Now you're gonna start hearing a lot about lesser of two evils and all of that nonsense. And you know, it's a two-party thing. And now, you know, let's see how we look at the quote unquote Democratic Party, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, that what they say about them is right. You know, now unfortunately, a lot of people, like, you know, like the older women in my family and a lot of the regular people like that you talk to is like really brainwashed. Like, I can't believe Jerry Jones is racist. Like, how could this be type, you know what I'm saying, people. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, we always going to learn, right? So for one, you know, now with the Democratic Party, because I know a lot of black people
We
like
help individuals and organizations.
vote blue or anything else, but they are right now like super mad about you know, Cornel West trying to run for president, you know what I'm saying, and they're trying to get him to back out of it, you know what I'm saying. And you know, they got a real issue
And has
with that.
decided not to participate in the Democratic debates.
Instrument.
Oh yeah.
That's an obs.
See, y'all remember I showed you this, right? Well, they was like, well, you know, if it's something about Biden and just Trump, would you back out? He was like, no. But, you know what I'm saying? They're like, and he's like brother or sister to this white bitch here. But they showing you how much brothers and sisters they are, that you are. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, this love everybody and like, yo, these people is our friends. Like I said, I'm getting tired of listening right now to some of this stuff because it's repetitive. They kind of stupid, you know what I'm saying? And they're so obsessed with black people. Where this chick who may have had some black, like, the way she looked, it looked like maybe her grandfather might have been black, you know what I'm saying, or something. But she was like, my dad is black, my mom is white, and I hate my mom because she was crazy. And they was making all kind of black jokes about her, and it didn't matter who they was or what side they were or what political party they represent, because if long as you don't have this, and then they have this whole white, you know what I'm saying, savior complex. So y'all remember that. And so I only picked this one just because of the title, because I ain't gonna play it. It's like Cornel West lobby to drop out by closest allies in the Democratic Party, because right now they're on his neck because they're like, oh, well, you're going to steal votes away from good old Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? and he like kind of like good, but you know, y'all already know how Cornel West is. But do you see like because all the people that he loves now is all of a sudden turning on him because I don't know, they feel he's a threat or the black vote, but like, come on, it's like let's be real, ain't nobody messing with, you know what I'm saying, Joe Biden anyway. Oh, you talking about for that? And yo, so they saying like he was like even right here it said the election could be a game of inches. So I have to believe that presidents people are taking anything for granted. Basically saying he need to chill out and stay in line, you know what I'm saying? And so they're trying to press him. And then it says, in a sign of how seriously some Democrats are taking the issue, alumni from the Congressional Black Caucus led a hybrid political action committee. It was there to, they acknowledged that work needs to be done, especially in improvement of the parties with black men, basically trying to see how can we get black men back into the Democratic Party. And that's the thing. If we start, especially like, you know, with the sisters and I know with the younger generation, they ain't going to just do it, you know, because we understanding now about who they are and what they do. And brothers like Cornel West, and it's interesting because MG2 had asked me a question about different candidates, and I forgot to even mention Cornel West because I would actually say he's the one person who would do something for black people. You know, he would do something for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I think he's the only one that will probably include black people. That's the thing. It ain't gonna be nothing crazy, but it's gonna be like, well, yeah, I think because I think he wants to be like Frederick Douglass, you know what I'm saying? But Cornel West, we all understand who he is, you know what I'm saying? And he creates more of, you know what I'm saying, the class like I was talking about earlier. But anyway, so he kind of
is foundation.
He kind of got in it with this white boy who got like, you know, 1 million subscribers, you know what I'm saying? But because I guess he wanted to run his campaign, and I don't want to play this because it's like kind of long, so I'm only gonna play just like a minute or so.
Which he is. He's
Yo, what's up, Raw?
Bigger fashion.
So now, oh yeah, and by the way, these dudes, you know what I'm saying, because even more than like the quote unquote redneck, like ones that you already know, you can see it. Now these ones in particular, because they always in his ilk have this white savior complex, you know what I'm saying? Those are the ones who be like, yo, then the Black Lives Matter thing, and then, you know, that whole thing is make it between them two, but they're really talking about us, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, the John Brown type, this is the John Brown archetype, you know what I'm saying? We're here to save you Negroes, and if you don't follow my way of thinking and the way I run it, you know what I'm saying, now you're a traitor, you know what I'm saying? Now is a problem. And this was supposed to be, you know, and this is like one of the kind of Democratic people, but, you know, he kind of got in it with Cornel West because, you know.
And he just crushed a union strike on the railroad, which is the definition of fascism. He's now trying to saber rattle with 2 nuclear powers, nuclear war, nothing more important than that. And what he's doing in Ukraine, you know exactly what he's doing, right? So he's the worst warmonger in the world. 300,000 Ukrainians have already been slaughtered. You don't say that about Joe Biden. What do you say when I tell you that you're undercutting your own campaign and you are propping up the Democratic message, brother, which is that they are the lesser of 2 evil and you have to vote for Joe Biden so we don't have fascism. By the way, we already have fascism. As we all know, fascism is the joining of corporate and government to screw the worker. And that's exactly what Joe Biden and Democrats
America, the corporation. Yes, the Corporation of America, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I don't think, and this is what I disagree with Nick too, that, and I appreciate your advice here, you know, cast in a respectful way, but we do, and I disagree with Brother Nick on this too, that
how is everybody here, brother?
Cut back from Mississippi, you know that. You know what the Jenkins and Parkins, the 2 brothers.
And listen to what your brothers do to you. You know what I'm saying? I know if it was a sister like Sister Soldier back in the day, he did it with her too, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with this dude, you know, and y'all be like, you know, he is educated, you know what I'm saying? But what the world, bro?
Brutalized by the police.
But as soon as you step out of line and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Now, Nero, now you're getting out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? We can't like actually let you do
You're
that,
running
you know?
wild, not just, and then the scapegoating of the most vulnerable, which it could be immigrants, it could be workers, it could be Black people, Jews, Arabs, and so forth. See, with under Biden.
Now the thing is, right, with Cornel West, even that they're saying, well, we will make some concessions for you if you would drop out of the race if it comes down to it. Meaning, like whatever issues that you think he would be like, yo, well, poverty for everybody, you know what I'm saying? All children, feed the world, you know what I'm saying? And then you know what they're gonna do, start in Europe and then eventually never get to Africa, you know. But you know, that's the kind of thing. And maybe you can use it, maybe you can't. I don't know. But the whole way he going about it, you know what I'm saying? Now he's being scolded by the quote unquote Democrat politician.
What you have is a fascist dimension domestically, especially against Black folk and others. You and I, the very fact that we're having this dialogue without being eliminated overnight, a fascist regime could completely call into question what the use of our.
I don't only see one group of people who's eliminated like that because you know what? Yes. Effective methods, maybe if you become, since you're American, I'm just saying this is America's tactics, you know.
Arbitrary power. That's what happens in the mass incarceration regime vis-a-vis poor Black people and others. Right. Yeah. So that is the fascist dimension. Similarly so in terms of militarism abroad. So that there's fascist elements, my brother, there's fascist dimensions. But with Trump, when you have calling into question transfer of power and so forth, that is not the same thing. And so that's to how, because one can in fact bring critique to bear on the system as a whole with the two corporate wings, but somehow, what do you say to trans and gays and lesbian brothers and sisters in terms of their rights?
Oh man, see now he going like that's the thing. He gonna do something for everybody though, you know, and it ain't gonna be nothing to particularly pull you up out of your situation, you know. And I don't know what the deal is with Cornel West, you know what I'm saying? I guess y'all got y'all theories about him, but you know, he's pissing them off. He's like being like a thorn in their side because they be like, whatever that white chick, because that was okay though, like whatever Jill Stein or you know, all them other Bernie Sanders, all of them, you know, that was okay because such and such, you know. But when you talk about, well, I'm going to do anything specifically for Black people, that's probably why it was okay. Now, he probably would do something specifically for Black people, but he would do it for everybody, you know, everybody, all walks of life, because all we need to do is go hold hands and just love, because love is the answer, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes nature is like not love nor hate, it's just I gotta eat, you know what I'm saying, and call it what you want to.
So that's again Joe Biden is responsible for the mass incarceration, not Donald Trump. Who is more responsible for Black and brown people being?
By the way, when people say that, Donald Trump was like, yo, I support the crime. Well, he didn't support the crime bill because he said it needed to be harsher than it was. So how could you even say that for the people who I hear say that? I do hear Black people say, well, what about Joe Biden? Well, Trump was like agreeing with it and said it. And well, he was like, it didn't go far enough. You know, he was like, oh, Joe Biden's weak. And you know how Trump is, you know what I'm saying? He needs to go harder type stuff, you know? And that was back then. Y'all bring up like that case when he was like accusing the Black dudes. But so that's just for the Black people who say that nonsense.
Being locked up and America being the largest penal colony in the world. Is it Donald Trump or would it be Joe Biden? By the way, this conversation is a loser for your campaign. Sitting here trying to make the argument.
It could be a loser for you too, though.
Trying to make the argument.
No, you trying to make the case that somehow the Democrats are more fascist than the Republicans. The fascism cuts across the board. But
that's not how you say it, though. You say it's only Donald Trump. You don't say it cuts across the board. You call Joe Biden milquetoast, and you call Donald Trump a fascist. So you're not saying Joe Biden is a fascist, really?
I said there's fascist dimensions to the Biden project. You're absolutely right.
It's
But the
like you're
question is-
campaigning for Joe Biden almost when you're doing this.
Oh,
That's what it
no,
sounds
that-
like.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But that's what it's. I'm not saying you are doing that. I'm saying that's what it sounds like.
What it sounds like to you. That's what it sounds like to you. And you got a right to be wrong. You got a right to be right. It sounds like to you. But it doesn't sound like that to a whole host of others at all, though, brother. Not
Okay.
at all.
Not at all, brother. Hey, I feel what you're saying, man. But the point is, right, is when you step out of line, you know what I'm saying, all of these Democrat and this sister, she's like, yo, I'm a socialist. But you know, like, it don't matter what system you're in, all right? The trickle down thing, guess what? Who's gonna be at the bottom? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna get exploited for their resources and the work? Who's gonna be the bottom of those classes that you then create with that system? But anyway, she was for like, yo, for everybody, let's just make socialism anti-capitalism, and she's for it. But yo, these two is like get heated with her because you like, well, you taking away votes for Joe Biden, and this white chick here accused her, oh, well, you just a single issue voter. And that's the thing, right? Because all of these people who you think could be your allies or whatever, they don't even have the same destiny, the same goal, the same dream as you, right? Whoever you think is for, like, and then we saying, well, we got to get this one out. It don't matter what side, it was Joe Biden or Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? It's same thing, you know, until you are whatever. But
This
I don't got the
revolutionary
time,
change
so I
on the
can't
Democratic Party, that should have worked.
because they got a guy.
Going back to the student debt point, it is kind of telling to me, Kyle, that you so quickly you injected your own low subjective, personal, and low expectations into the argument to say, well, because Joe Biden did more than I subjectively believed was possible, you're accusing me of minimizing the accomplishments. I think that you might be minimizing his failures in the extent to which that he knowingly, it seems, lied about what he was willing to do, and in fact, dramatically.
Yeah, none of it is not different. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, you know. You get
But
choked out
for
every
millions
day.
of us, 44 million, in fact, that kind of bait and switch is unforgivable.
But you gotta remember when I was saying this stuff before, and the last time it was people coming on like, "Oh, you shouldn't say that because you know what? We got to get Trump out of there." It was black people even coming on here saying that. It was black people in person. You know what I'm saying? Like family members. You know, like, oh well, no, you got to go. You know, to make sure good old Joe get up in there, and then like a couple months later, like black presidents gets assassinated in his bed and all type of crazy stuff started happening. It was like too many to name, right? And so she's saying, you know, like, well, listen, you know, you don't understand. Now the thing is, a sister like her would be like, we need to do away with race and all of that. But even people like Candace Owens, they use it when they feel like it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh, well, you can't say you're speaking to me as a black woman who has different views, that somehow my views, but somehow we don't understand that. We just want to get rid of the quote unquote social construct of race, right? Because that's just another way. It's no different than saying you're an Indian or any of that stuff. You know, all of that. You try to do it through science. You try to do it through, like, you know, church, politics, you know what I'm saying, sex, you know what I'm saying, drugs, music, and none of it works, you know.
Traded
You know,
by
they
Joe
was
Biden
getting on her.
Ellen,
Yeah,
those are the
I'm
intentions on
more
the
of a
student
Biden
loan
bro than
debt,
she
right?
is, for sure. And she gets accused of being a bigger one than me, but that's
But
beside point.
I
They
understand your
was
critiques of Joe
making her high.
Biden very well. Many of them, if
Like, you Negroes, and by the way, because, oh yeah, we'll get to that point, you know.
not all of them, I basically share. What I don't understand is just simply a tactical question of how focusing on a third-party effort gets us towards the goal.
Now they're pissed off, like I said, like as far as their stuff and all of their quote unquote political stuff about well, maybe you Negroes won't go vote for Joe Biden if it's Cornel West, because he is Frederick Douglass, and we know that, you know, you Negroes were going to support your own, you know what I'm saying, hell, like what 96% of 98% of black people voted for Obama. I know they're gonna vote for, this is their fears talking. I know they're gonna vote for Cornel West, or at least some of them, and we can't get Trump in there. And they trying to gonna be like, well, and they've been saying the lesser of two evils. If you did a drinking game when they say lesser of two evils in this, then you'll be like super drunk at the end.
Goals that we share. That's the piece that, to me, recent history proves it has the complete opposite effect. Whereas we do see,
By the way, and they have like stupid logic, but guess who? Like all the time, no matter what side people be on, like guess where our talking points be coming from when we be speaking of everything. We could be speaking of a flat Earth, and guess where our talking points came from? Same ones, you know. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who come at me like, yo, well, no, like, and then you could be like, well, you know, Joe Biden like once lynched the person in 1976, you know. Well, that was the past. He's different now because you know what? He's met Obama, the first good Negro he's ever seen. But you will see what happened with that later. You know,
actual progress that is possible made through the Democratic primary process. And I know you accept that. Like, you don't, I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But there were key decisions that were made in the Starbucks advance that goal.
Is that some worser thing is coming down the pike precisely because we've enabled that to be the case. And many people, and I don't feel quite this way, but many people feel as though there is an energy suck that happens with even paying attention and voting in these general elections. I think that your points about what's happened on the state level in Minnesota, et cetera, are much stronger. I know that, for example, Sabby Sabs is always making the case that, you know, don't forgo electoral politics, focus more on what's happening on the local level. And I think that is a perfectly reasonable argument to make as well. But I do think that there is a failure to recognize the extent to which there is a validation that takes place of the status quo, that people are trying to negotiate as they reckon with real gains that the Biden administration has effected.
No, the point is they're saying that he's unlikely to beat, you know, he's RFK is unlikely to win against Joe Biden, but the point is he's doing it within the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? He's still doing it within the system. You know what I'm saying? And him running outside of Republican or Democrat is they're saying is going to hurt, quote unquote, the Democratic Party, whether it be Joe Biden or Kennedy. So, but they're saying it's going to be Joe Biden, right? Because they're like, oh well, never Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what but they accuse her of being a single issue voter, when even though she was her main thing, if you ask her, I'm against capitalism, we need to get rid of these social constructs and all of this stuff. Even if you ask her, she has fundamental differences, because at the end of the day, no matter how cloned out you are, you understand who they are for real on a basic level. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't try them, you know. But she's speaking on multiple issues like feminism and, you know, all of that stuff, you know, but they're calling her the single issue voter when really they are, you know.
Effectuated.
Yeah, so let me respond to that. I don't want to validate the status quo as much as I want to acknowledge the positive things that exist and have happened recently, which I think is some evidence that in some ways
I'm gonna start calling them Greek dudes, because you already know what Greek culture means.
But some ways we are moving in a better direction. So let me share a point of agreement, because we've been arguing the whole time. It'd be nice to have a point of agreement real quick. If we wake up tomorrow and there's ranked choice voting everywhere, I would be the biggest Green Party simp on the
All right, it's whatever. It's long and kind of they saying stupid stuff, but you know, they're pretty much you know, like Negroes, you know what I'm saying? Just listen to us. It's like the Moynihan Report, all of that stuff, you know, with their policies, because no matter where you go. Now, the thing is, right, because we could run away from the Democratic plantation, you know, because you already know a lot of the talking points, and a lot of them are true, you know, and then we can end up in the Republican plantation, but then our alarm clocks will soon go off, you know, soon. Now, this is not even in the president, so this is real quick, you know. Now, this same dude, you know, I'm gonna just play it and y'all hear it, but they're calling, what's his name, Eric Adams in New York, the Black Trump, because of his stance on illegal immigrants, when in fact he was first like, yo, bring in the illegal immigrants, but when you see what happens when they come up in our communities, like in Chicago and apparently in New York, there's an issue, But now they're calling him the Black Trump just because he's saying, but check this out, though.
Democratic Party and the establishment has co-opted the term white supremacy to screw workers, right? So I guess they can't call the mayor. So they've called Larry Elder white supremacist. They're starting to call Cornel West. And so here that they've switched it up. The mayor of New York is an African-American, Eric Adams, and they're calling him the Black Trump.
What?
They're calling him the Black Trump because he said
because he's not
because
too articulate. Yeah.
Because they sent over 110,000 immigrants to New York City and they don't know what to do. And here he gave a speech, and this is why they're calling him Black Trump.
The month I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here.
Illegal
We're
immigration.
getting no support on this national crisis, and we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New York.
Boy, I remember when they were making fun of DeSantis and Greg Abbott and the
Now, I guess this dude is old enough to hit his true switch, and his Neanderthal gene is kind of coming out, so he wants to be out in the open. Now, he had years of scamming. He got like 2 million subscribers, and he does this to make a living. And he's like got money, you know what I'm saying? He commercialized it and reaped it. And then there are a lot of Black people that they will put in certain positions that will deal with fools like this, you know what I'm saying? Like even like Cornel West, sitting here talking and arguing with this fool here, you know what I'm saying? Like, who really cares about his opinion anyway? But he's, that's Cornel West's brother.
Big welcome the immigrants.
Well, they're a sanctuary city, New York City.
New York City is a sanctuary city where that illegal immigration, guess what, is hurt Black people because they're sticking the essays, you know what I'm saying, in the Black community, you know what I'm saying, and bringing their culture of wanting to be gringos into that situation. And of course, have been seeing it, you know what I'm saying? But when Black people say something about it, then they try to accuse you of being quote unquote xenophobic, but
and so, he was. They're all the Democrats' message was we welcome immigrants. And now the immigrants are in their city and they all want them gone. From Chicago is having big problems. New York City.
So we have to, I guess the Martha's Vineyard, when they were busing people to Martha's Vineyard, that crisis was abated. And now it's finally trickled down to where these other idiots have to realize what they've been saying.
Yes. So here, he's got more to say. And this is why they're calling him Black Trump.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue
is about to be over here.
Will destroy New York City. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We got a $12 billion deficit.
You should spend some more on cops.
And we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted.
Spend some more on
all of us. I said it last year when we had 15,000. I'm telling you now, with 110,000, the city we knew we're about to lose.
So 100.
That he's about to lose. Like, what is he talking about? The city we knew we're about to lose. Whatever he's thinking about. That they lost that quite a ways back. It's full on like.
Now, see, this is like the problems with like being divulged in other people's society. You know what I'm saying? Because their issues is not your issues. Their situations is not our situation. The stuff they need is not the stuff that we need. They have the schools, they have the hospitals, they're controlling their school boards. They show up at their meetings enough to at least control it. I heard something earlier where there's been like 11 Black something. It was like at a certain time it's been, I forget what it was, but it was a certain office and there's only been like 11 Black people in those offices, right? But so like you even speak up against that when you on the Democratic plantation, you know what I'm saying? then it's an issue. And that's just why I'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't vote it for it just because immigration or none of that, whether you call it xenophobic or not, because that is a detriment, what I'm saying, to it, because we get it from all angles, what I'm saying. That's the thing we don't realize. We think there may be an avenue, a ray of sunshine where there's no anti-blackness. There's a lane there. It never will be. You're in complete darkness until you make some light. You know what I'm saying? The only lane of non-anti-blackness is the one that you create with your fist, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's no such thing, right? No matter what we identify as, if we be like socialist first, Democrat first, you know what I'm saying? Religion first, or whatever thing other than black, I say only, not even first, it's a whole different mindset because we have to be on that mindset. But let's see what happens because he got
North Korea technological surveillance over there now and mandates and what have you.
So here they say Mayor Adams says the migrant influx will cost New York City $12 billion. That's a headline in the New York Times. And here's what he says. Citing costs of migrant care, Mayor Adams calls for more budget cuts. The mayor ordered New York City agencies to reduce spending by 15%.
Now he spent his life like on this probably more than hand report lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? The best way I could put it, where I'm an ally, you know what I'm saying? I'm John Brown, because I swear I wish I could have shown that Jane Elliott video, and it was a person that y'all probably would have just focused on the person, but that, like, I wish I could have shown it, but just because you can see their true nature and of all of their natures, no matter which kind of culture or background in particular, which tribe of Neanderthal they come from, you know what I'm saying? It's all the same. It's no different. And as soon as you get out of line, boy, because, some of them be like, well, it is wrong to like shoot Negroes. Although I understand they commit violence and all of this stuff, they believe all of that nonsense is true. Like they aren't the literally sociopath, like or psychopathic, homicidal maniacs that they are, because they feel like, oh, well, when we go into other countries and take the resources and kill the people, it's for a good reason to support our lives. But, when you do it, well, this is savage behavior, and we try to fit into that and it don't work. And as soon as you get an inkling,
percent in the coming months, but said that federal and state aid could prevent the need for cuts.
I don't understand why there's still a sanctuary city. Can't you say we're not that anymore?
I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, honest. All I know is that they all have egg on their face for saying that they were sanctuary cities. And then when the rubber, because they weren't.
Well, he's getting out of line. So he's the Black Trump. Now, okay, we ran away. Let's run away from the Democratic plantation. Look at this. This is a new plantation. Maybe the Republican plantation is treat us right. Let's check this out. Let's see what this good old white boy is talking about. Now, I don't know if y'all saw what happened with Tim Scott, who was running for president, because he was just running for mayor. So back to the black president candidates, you know what I'm saying? And see, this is all the black president candidates. And by the way, Democrats only got one black person, which is, they got no black people because they want Cornel West to chill out. But these are let's run away to the new plantation. Maybe it's different over here.
With regards to the GOP presidential field, specifically pertaining to how they differ from the Biden administration, but the focus for one Republican.
Different story than we're used to covering on the campaign trail this cycle.
And away from the politics at hand. News Nation's Robert Sherman is live with more on how Senator Tim Scott's campaign is now responding. Robert?
Hey there, a little bit of a different story than we're used to covering on the campaign trail this cycle, but South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is not married. He's kept his relationship private, but it has now found its way into the...
Donald Trump was married to like 12 white bitches, right? One of which was a freaking porn star, you know what I'm saying? And y'all already know the question. But why is that? That should answer our questions about where we belong. Nowhere near this mob. But Tim Scott, you know what I'm saying? They like, oh, well, now it's quite, you can't really run because where your girl at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where your wife? So now they saying making it about this, and he was this white boy like, well, I'm not really used to talking about whether somebody is married or not, or how many white bitches they beat up or not, but this guy's not married. How could we let him into our party?
Relationship private, but it has now found its way into the spotlight after this conversation with Axios resurfaced this week. Take a listen.
To suggest that somehow being married or not married is going to be the determining factor of whether or not you're a good president or not, it sounds like we're living in 1963 and not 2023.
Even he remember what happened in 1963. See, that's the thing. Even like the clones, you know what I'm saying, back then knew what was up. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. And just today, that's why some of them got in trouble when they started talking about that. You all remember with DeSantis and all that stuff about, like, you know, well, we're gonna bring back kind of slavery. They was like, oh, well, you know, we don't want to go back too far now, you know, because we trying to be on the bandwagon. But you see all the time, you know, it's 1963 now. I couldn't quite be a Republican in 1963, you know, and I couldn't be a damn Democrat in 1963. Well, until LBJ said it's okay. Well, no, I guess Kennedy was like what, the second black president. Lincoln was the first black president. Because, you know, black people back then, when the war was over, Lincoln came through Richmond and people was calling him the Messiah or like some kind of like prophet or something. And they was like getting down on their knees worshiping him. You know what I'm saying? This is black people, you know. So the first black president was Lincoln. The second was, I guess that was the second. Kennedy was the second black president. And LBJ was like what, the fifth, or I don't know. I lost count. I don't know how many black presidents have been. JFK was the black president, but he would have been the president in
1963 and not 2023. I probably have more time, more energy,
and what up, more. Yo, you missed the Democratic plantation in Cornel West and his wake-up call. They telling his ass stop running. But now we ran our way to the Republican plantation, and now Tim Scott is having issues up here because they telling him, oh, well, you're not married. He was like, I never heard nobody question about this in my life.
To suggest that somehow being married or not married is going to be
the Clintons, they might have been the seventh black president. Joe Biden, the eighth black president. Yeah.
Determining factor of whether or not you're a good president or not, it sounds like we're living in 1963 and not 2023. I probably have more time, more energy, and more latitude to do the job. I mean, my girlfriend wants to see me when I come home.
Now, you see, he had to throw in, I got a girlfriend. He about to pull that Cory Booker stuff, you know what I'm saying, where he show up with some girl. Hope she ain't, just don't use a prostitute, bro. Use an upstanding girl and pay her, you know what I'm saying? Don't use a prostitute.
Now, you heard the key word in there, girlfriend. You've heard some critics this week asking the question if Senator Tim Scott's girlfriend is real, if he actually has one. His campaign telling News Nation today that she is real, and he keeps her out of the public spotlight, but they do have a strong, healthy relationship based upon their faith. We've also seen the senator hitting...
Now, they asked this man, this brother, you know what I'm saying, in the spirit of Cornel West, they asked this brother, you know what I'm saying, is your girlfriend real? He hasn't found the right white girl yet, you know. But he was like, is your girlfriend real? And this is one of the questions that he's having during a presidential campaign. And he probably not, because he had to throw it in there at the end. You know what I'm saying? He's probably lying because he know, well, these conservative white boys will never respect me if I don't have a white woman on my arm. So, but he hasn't found the right white woman yet.
She is real, and he keeps her out of the public spotlight, but they do have a strong, healthy relationship based upon their faith. We've also seen the senator hitting back against all these allegations this week, asking the question, does it really matter if he's married or not? Does it matter if he's in a relationship or not? And some contend, when you look at history, it actually does matter.
Oh, man. I wonder, now, y'all tell me, what does it matter more, your relationship status or, you know what I'm saying, being the head of the Republican Party? I don't know. You tell me.
The spouse is often used on the campaign trail. And then if the person is elected, the spouse is often used to represent the office or represent the president or represent the public.
So now the whatever white bitch it is now so you telling me that the porn star chick, you know what I'm saying, was the president of America? Is that what y'all telling me? Or whichever wife he had, didn't he have like 6 or 7 wives? I don't know. He was a deadbeat. I know that.
And so that really does matter to some voters, and it really actually does matter to the job.
Roosevelt, I don't know. And I think so, but he was the president, you know what I'm saying? I guess Tim Scott should look that up, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure they love whatever white boy it is, but they're gonna be like, it's different. And so he gonna learn the hard way that it's really not about that. Because what does it matter, you know?
Or represent the public. And so that really does matter to some voters, and it really actually does matter to the job.
Historically, first ladies have played big
Yo, what
roles
up,
in the
Sinead?
job of the presidency. After President Woodrow Wilson had a stroke, Edith Wilson took over many of
What the world?
the day-to-day duties for his second term.
No, because they always be like, you know, oh, it's us, because white bitches be trying to go at black women. That was another thing she said. Well, if you talking about black issues, you gotta talk about women. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like they have. She's saying that they're trying to make it seem like, well, it's because of the white bitches have been acting as presidents all along, and it's important to have you a white bitch, Tim Scott, but you also a Negro, so don't touch no white girl because you know what we're gonna do to you. So, you know, and he was like, yeah, my girlfriend, I got a girl, yeah, I got a girl, but
First Lady Nancy Reagan took up many national causes, including the Just Say No to Drugs movement.
oh, that's the thing, considering all of the black because I was just talking about Cornel West and his wake-up call with the Democrats, you know, because they trying to make him drop out so Joe Biden can get back to president, you know what I'm saying? And I was showing what he was accomplishing as president of America earlier, you know, but he got his wake-up call. And we was just talking about Eric Adams in New York. He was just running for mayor, though, you know what I'm saying? But we looking at what's going on with all of the black candidates in the presidency right now. Only, I guess the Democrats don't have nobody, but Cornel West is a problem for the Democrats. But there's only one black person over there. But this is on there, you know? So
that leads to a natural question. Could a bachelor potentially win the Oval Office? It has happened before, but it has been an anomaly. The last time.
So it's not about race, it's whether you got a white bitch or not.
South Carolina told us that, well, America is not a racist country. So he has a theory about why people are drawing attention to the fact that he has never been married.
It's not a racist country, so this is why.
Okay, he has a theory.
According to him.
Let's check the theory out. He says, it's like a different form of discrimination or bias, he says. The 2024 GOP presidential candidate told the Washington Post, you can't say I'm black because that would be terrible. So find something else that you can attack. End quote. Scott.
So wait, hold on. Did he say because you can't say I'm black, you gotta do something else? Is that what he said they're doing? My goodness. In the words of Cornel West, the brothers of his, Cornel West got his wake up. Is going to get his wake up call, especially if he be running and this is Donald Trump and Joe Biden. You know, because we got to get these Negroes out here to not let Donald Trump get in office. We got to go for good old Joe. You know, so you Negroes is tripping. What are you doing?
Something else that you can attack. End quote. Scott also said that other GOP contenders.
Yeah, I was showing it because you got to go back to the first part after this. I was showing that I don't want to go back so I could be quicker, but man, because they was hot. I was showing different things.
Maybe seeking to sow seeds of doubt about his campaign and finding a way to say, that guy isn't one of us. End quote. With the insinuations about his personal life. But Scott, his political confidants and his friends all insist he's not gay. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Oh,
Because guess what? Most of them are gay. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real here. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they love J. Edgar Hoover. He's known as that, but a lot of them are gay. Let's be real. This is a lot of them. I mean, I'm gonna start saying the word Greek because we all know what Greek culture represents. A lot of them were Greeks. You know what I'm saying?
okay, Scott. Why do you say that?
That juvenile delinquent has
My
been
bad.
nothing.
Well, at least he capitalizing off this.
Beginning, Tim. So they're saying that you're gay because you've never been married. Some of them have never been married, but they're not saying.
Yo, I'm telling you, the younger generation, like probably they're in their 30s down, they're not gonna have a wife. A lot of them is straight incels at this point. They're not gonna have a wife, and so let's just see if they keep the same logic. Because if we use Euro logic, this is why I'll be going crazy sometimes. I can't continuously listen to the nonsense because it's so stupid. It's like they don't even listen to their nonsense, and like they say stupid stuff like for instance, because they'll try to use one of their traps. They'll be like, well, black people commit more crime, but the police harm or brutalize white people more. But when they say that kind of stuff, right? And one of those scenarios, like when you say they brutalize white people more, yeah, because white people commit more crimes. But then they'll say, well, it's because it's more white people out there. So by that logic, if you're saying that it is more white people out there, then of course is more white people getting whatever, you know. But when you start accounting for numbers, because that's what you try to do, and one of them they account for population, the other one they don't, but they try to pull it over so slick, you know. But it's a bunch of excuses. I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but you know.
They are gay. They're only saying that about you. And you're saying that it has nothing to do with anything other than you not being married. Okay, all right, let's continue. But Scott, his political confidants, etc., insists that he is not gay. In fact, Scott insists he does have a girlfriend.
Oh man.
Okay. He insisted.
Nah, I think he gonna pull a Cory
The
Booker.
campaign declined to identify her to the Post. Quote, I can't imagine dragging her onto the campaign trail unless I have the intention of marrying her. Damn, Scott.
Oh damn, so he living in sin. Ain't that something? He living in sin. They really gonna convict him. They really gonna crucify him for that.
Sir, put up his picture again. Can I give you some advice, sir? Because obviously you have.
Now Rashad Richie, he gonna get, because he's still stuck on. We left him back on the Democratic plantation. You know what I'm saying? He willingly to, you know, he gonna go dance with Hillary next. You know what I'm saying, and get some of her hot sauce. So, but we can still get reports because we left the Democratic plantations, but we can still get reports back from the Democratic plantation, right? You know.
No sense of self. You just told this woman that you have no intention of doing anything long term if the woman even exists. Scott said in the Post interview, which he said would be the only conversation I'm going to have about her in any form or fashion unless he wins. Now, if he wins, we can talk about it. But Scott, that doesn't mean you're going to marry her.
How you gonna be worried about getting married when you're the president?
Are you going to marry her if you win? I got more questions.
Oh, damn, I'm sounding like them now. I'm being programmed. My bad.
Still the rumor, right?
All right, peace. Bukari.
Still the
I'm
rumor
almost done.
About Scott has persisted. The joke has always been that he is secretly gay or something, said an unnamed GOP operative who came to the Post with a dossier of information about Scott's known personal, which revealed the existence of his current girlfriend.
Now, this is because he's walked. They be like, yo, what's your policy on, you know, the economic or in education or, you know, hell, what's your policy on how we're gonna deal with the D? They ain't give him the Negro question, none of that. They just worried about whether he's messing with somebody or not. But speaking of this gay stuff, like now I know y'all have been saying, because they always been trying to say this about Barack Obama, and lately they've been trying to use this again because he's running for president, you know, the 7th black president. But so now they are trying to push this thing like Obama is like gay, you know what I'm saying? And let me see.
In and out of prison, and oxygen, no matter what we do. And I think there's some going around on Twitter. Tucker put out this clip teasing this interview with a guy who says he had sex with Barack Obama. Like,
now, one thing that they're mad about is no matter how you feel about her on whatever level, Michelle Obama was the most beautiful first lady that ever was. The most beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're going to be like this porn star with a fake body that look like a dude, you know what I'm saying? But they are into people that's built like teenage boys and stuff like that. It's kind of weird, but Michelle Obama is, no matter what they say about her, she's the most beautiful first lady that ever existed. But you know, they got a thing where they love to like kind of call black women men because in fact they are like kind of effeminate the way that they are. That's why they even use the tactics and do the things that they do, because it's like real effeminate. And so like, because our women are realer than they are, you know, they perceive it. But this is European logic, you see. This is why I get confused and I'll be like, I can't keep listening to it because it drives me crazy sometimes, you know. But they love to call black women, you know, but it's interesting because how could that be when that would be the most, who they gonna say Barbara Bush was the most beautiful one? No, she was the most beautiful first lady that ever existed, no matter how you feel. And I would like ask them, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't like to admit that. They can say what they want, but tell them to name one who's prettier.
What? I'm like, wait a minute, that guy looks familiar. Is that Larry Sinclair?
It ain't about to be who trusted, because like, you know, like, well, shit, we trust everybody else though. So, you know, but the thing is, you know, that's what I'm saying, speaking on this gay stuff. Cause oh yeah, I forgot, this is back on the Democratic plantation. You'll see.
Absolute notorious fabulist and liar and con man.
Because we ran over there, we saw what happened to Tim Scott. Maybe we can go back to the Democrat plantation. Maybe the Democrats ain't so bad. Maybe Master Biden ain't so bad. It's the lesser of two evils, you know.
From back in 2007, 2008 days. And so I think Tucker has not put out the full interview. Maybe Tucker includes all that context and why it's important that we understand what his backstory. And so let's roll a little bit of this clip.
You're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort. And
There's LBGT allies here, by the way. You know, speaking up here. These are allies, you know what I'm saying? LBGT, people of color, all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? They get to have their voice. They in the cookout too, right?
And next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let me just ask the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual?
They think this stuff be making sense too, like, you know, like, yo, what was he like on crack, you know? But he was like, yo, his story don't make sense though, you know. When you listen, he was like, yo, I laid a line of coke out, and then he just put it in a pipe and smoked it. Like, first of all, like, so he's saying like, well, he carried the pipe, saw the coke stretched out in the line, then I guess however you do it, you stuff it or roll it or whatever. So he said he smoked it, so he rolled it up and then smoked it, you know what I'm saying? And he just turned around while it happened, you know, even if you listen to his story. But you know who, because a lot of them used to molest little boys, you know what I'm saying? Because they like to talk about all these allies, and they also throw in that LB, because y'all remember Juneteenth or whatever black thing they was doing, and then they tried to combine it with the LBGT thing with the Democratic plantation, you know what I'm saying? But then if we go over to the Republican plantation, you see like let's be real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you like, because they molested our children and did all kinds of things. If you got a problem with me calling like somebody like J. Edgar Hoover like a faggot or something, I think you got a problem, because that's what he was. Like, they did sick kind of stuff, and this is Greek culture, you know what I'm saying? And I don't fit in with Greek culture, even no matter where I come from in the earth. I know I ain't come from Greek culture. I know that.
Like, what is this?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't Islam.
The guy's running for president, and credible information comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes. That seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared.
I would hope that people could see that and just see how little sense all of it makes.
Yeah. But this is not new, right? Because they've been trying to push this stuff since the beginning. Now, this is a mulatto dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Let's call it what it is. This is a mulatto person, you know what I'm saying? You need two black people to be your parents to be black, and he don't have that. There's no way that a black kid can come out of a white bitch's womb. There's no way it's possible. Or from a white dude's sperm, you know what I'm saying? A white boy's sperm. There's no way a black person can come from that. It's just impossible, you know what I'm saying? But they've been on this for a minute. It's not even new. And they're mad because, you know what I'm saying, you know, they always go at it. And then, like I said, they always try to call Michelle Obama a man, but that's the whole thing when they do to black people. You know what I'm saying? Because they try to use these stereotypes, you know what I'm saying? They make black jokes even to the mulattoes, you know what I'm saying? And the mulattoes sit there and take it and try to fit in with them. And as we see other black people do, you know what I'm saying? So, like, damn, it's getting crazy up on the Democratic plantation, because now we got to accept, you know what I'm saying, the immigrants who brother Eric Adams can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to accept LBGT. You know what I'm saying? We got to accept all this stuff. Like, damn, like, we got to accept all these really, like, people who used to be, like, who raped us, you know what I'm saying, to a point that is disgusting. And then they'll have a white bitch like Jane Elliott speak at the Pan-African or the American Indian Conference, you know what I'm saying, and tell us how race doesn't exist, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said, man, they use these stereotypes for all of us, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because they're Greek. They come from Greek culture. They think it's like the greatest thing ever. It's hilarious, you know?
Let me start with you, because the same-sex marriage issue is not one that's just a theoretical one for you. You're gay. When did you first tell Senator Obama that you're gay?
The interview? No, I'm saying this is the thing that they have been saying, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's fake or not, this is not even new. And Tucker Carlson is basically a YouTuber. So, like, whether any other YouTuber is real or not, because at this point, he's a YouTuber when he's doing this. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is CNN, which is supposed to be, I guess, according to them, it is, they would say, they call it left leaning, like in the left, you know what I'm saying? I guess the left side of the, like, I don't want to say, you know, the left side of the white people stuff, you know what I'm saying? They've been saying this for a very long time, and this is all like, because they've been trying to call black women men before Michelle Obama even existed, and this applies to all of us, you know what I'm saying? And we see that we get, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, they've been saying this is on CNN, how this white boy said this,
the
whether his interview was real or not.
Is not one that's just a theoretical one for you. You're gay. When did you?
Yo, and they be, because I was trolling them. I was about to send it to Cassandra and Erica, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was trolling them because it was a picture of Serena Williams and then the white chick, and dude was like, yo, we just built different. And they start calling, like, her a man, you know what I'm saying? And, like, of course, you've seen the black people clap it back, you know what I'm saying? You know, I had to be like, you know, it's because y'all, And it's true, they're into like white bitches that is built like teenage boys. You know what I'm saying? They want them to have like no nothing. You know what I'm saying? They like women or white bitches who are like, you know what I'm saying, teenage boys. That's why they so attracted to Asians, because they built like, or the Dinosauras, because they built like little teenage boys. You know what I'm saying? It's true. And black women is like, you know, the most, like I said, Michelle Obama, no matter how you feel about her, you will have to agree is the most beautiful first lady that ever existed. You know what I'm saying? For their country. And for that, they hate it. So call it what you want to, and call, like, I would prefer, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, because like I said, they're built like little boys, you know?
You first tell Senator Obama.
Exactly how they favor it.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, Jake, when I first told him, he didn't exactly hear what I was saying. So I was down with some other colleagues at the DNC for a meeting when I first started working for him and bumped into it.
See, this, if we don't have caught on yet, they're all white nationalists. That's why we get lost in the cycle. That's why I was pointing out with the sister who was trying to debate with the dude about Cornel West, and why we get lost with whatever ally that we think we have, because we think that ally means that we go into the same path and we could just whatever, but it does not mean that. You have no friends, and if you don't have anything, you don't even have nothing to do business with. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter which plantation you on, to be honest with you.
At the DNC for a meeting when I first started working for him and bumped into a female colleague of mine from the Hill, and there were some jokes between the staff about whether I was flirting with her or not. And so I thought it was time to...
The answer is you were not.
I was not. And it was time to bring the senator into the loop. So I said, Senator, just so you know, I'm gay. And he said, you've got game? I just saw it. I'm standing right here, Ben. We all saw it.
You
And
thought you said I got game.
I've got game. And I said, no, Senator, I really am gay. And it took about 5 or 6 times to clarify, out of the elevator, down the stairs, into the car. And I said, Senator, I just want to tell you I really am gay. And he said, I thought you said you had game. All right. I'll keep my eye out for you.
I'll keep my eye out.
And he did.
Right.
Recording.
So why are they even talking about that? Because it's Greek culture, you know. But speaking of him, because we saw what happened with Obama, and I'm going to show him through him another presidential candidate. You know what I'm saying? I think this is our last presidential candidate. It's this is literally, if you look at who's running for president, unless y'all show me another black person running for president right now, I guess Kanye West. I can show some Kanye West videos. This is what's going on with every single black person that ran for president right now as we speak, you know. And no matter what quote unquote side they choose, you know what I'm saying, which plantation we on. But speaking of Obama, I'm gonna let Larry Elder handle this one.
Year after the election and re-election of the first black president of the United States, said first black president of the United States would call reparations justified.
Now listen to this, because I played this before, but now I can't seem to find this video on the internet. And luckily, Larry Elder, you know what I'm saying, showed it, you know, our now presidential candidate, another person we could vote for. Because I said black only, you know, but it's, you know, but this is Obama now talking about reparations, not when he was in office, like 5 or 6 years afterwards on a podcast with Bruce Springsteen. All right, so listen.
How do you hold the same country that sent man to the moon with being the same country of
If you say that, are you like, bro? Like I don't know, bro. You tripping, bro? Like she looked like Barbara Bush, bro, like, or whoever the hell George Bush is married, bro. You telling me if you seen them two, you wouldn't care which one you talk to, Black Megas? Like, no matter how you feel about her, she was that. Or you have to name one. Maybe Abraham Lincoln had a bad bitch or something. I don't know. You tell me. Or Trump, that bitch. You know, that's the only one they could probably name. But I'm saying, bro, like, no matter how you feel about her, she was still the most beautiful first lady that ever existed in this country.
Jim Crow. You don't make peace with that, obviously, but how do you sort of hold that being the same America?
I think that it is partly because we never went through a true reckoning. And so we just buried one huge part of our experience and our citizenry.
That's the thing, though. They ain't gonna let his ass run, Cassandra.
In our minds.
Buried part of our citizenry? I have no idea what that means, but it sure sounded good, didn't it?
Now, you mentioned that a reckoning hadn't taken place. So here we sit today where it feels like a reckoning is being called for. You know, is the country ready to deconstruct its founding myths? It's
Now, some people say they're not gonna vote for nobody who ain't for reparations, right? Well, now that we can't vote for Barack Obama, he's for reparations now.
mythic stories, it's mythic history, or is it prepared to consider reparations?
So you telling me, Black Megas, you wouldn't know which one to pick between Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton? You wouldn't know, like, if it was like like one of them, and you already know, bro. You telling me you can tell the difference between Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama, bro? Like, or name one. You can name one who you think is like as equal to her. You know what I'm saying? That you would be like, oh, well, I don't know. It's a toss up in the air, like between them. I'm only talking about just looks, bro. Like, no matter how you think about her, you know what I'm saying? Like, just tell me one that is better than her, that looks better than her.
Do you think we're at that place right now?
Deconstruction. Wow. Well, it took the boss a while to get around to asking his question, but I think he asked former President Barack Obama if he's in favor of reparations.
I didn't say, I only said how they look, bro. Like, because we know that Barack Obama is not even a Black person. We know that, you know what I'm saying? But I said she's the most beautiful first lady, and that's why I've even tried to tell them, because they hate to accept that, because they try to call. See, that's the thing we got to understand, bro. Like, a Black woman is a Black woman to them, and they call Black women, like they try to call all of us, like Black women, masculine and men and stuff. They say they look like men, bro. Like, they be disrespecting our women and try to act like they're men and say they look like men when they're attracted to people that's built like teenage boys. You know what I'm saying? They cannot say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of their whole logic. That's what I'm trying to tell you, you know? Like, that's why, you know, we shouldn't even be saying that. Like, she's just bottom line the most beautiful first lady there ever was, as far as the way that she looks, you know what I'm saying? Because they use that for all of us, you know what I'm saying? They call Black women men, you know what I'm saying? And some of us be picking up on that and calling, oh, you look like a man and all this stuff, or you're a man, and like, come on, like, they're not men, you know?
So if you ask,
because they literally debate about whether men are men in their society. This is Greek culture we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. This is why it drives us crazy. This is why we can't communicate, because we get lost in Greek culture. None of it is what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Also, a while to get around to asking his question, but I think he asked former President Barack Obama.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, and it's not because she's Michelle Obama. It's because she's a Black woman. And let me tell you, because even when the biracial chick who be like, oh, I am not Black, be on their platform, they say disrespectful stuff about Black women, Black men, Black people. And this not this everybody, it's all of them. They all do this. No matter which plantation that we run to, they all have this mentality, bro. This is what I'm trying to say, you know. And this is about Barack Obama now. And I hope he say the reasons, because he said it's a non-starter with these very psychopaths. You know, it's us getting adjusted to the psychopath behavior, bro. We can't even say like, yeah, of course she's like not a man and she's a woman, because that's a stereotype. That's what they try to portray us as, you know, and they try to portray Black men as women, you know, as feminine.
Favor of reparations.
So if you ask me, theoretically, are reparations justified? The answer is yes.
This may surprise you. Obama is right. Of course, reparations are justified. To the slaves and to their legal heirs, good luck finding either. When we paid reparation to the Japanese put in relocation camps, Those monies were paid to the victims themselves or to their legal heirs. Good luck finding slaves today and their legal heirs.
There's not much question, right, that the wealth of this country, the power of this country, was built in significant part, not exclusively, maybe not even the majority of it, but a large portion of it was built on the backs of slaves.
Obama says that there's not much question that the wealth of America was built on the backs of slaves. Actually, there is question. Conservative writer Michael Medved, quote, "It's not true that the U.S. became a wealthy nation through the abuse of slave labor. The most prosperous states in the country were those that first freed their slaves. Pennsylvania passed an emancipation law in 1780. Connecticut, Rhode Island followed soon.
Eventual
New York approved
emancipation,
in 1799.
not emancipation.
These states quickly emerged as
Eventual,
robust centers
like 30
of
years
commerce
later.
and manufacturing, greatly enriching themselves, while the slave-based economies in the South languished by comparison." What? Slavery didn't make America rich? Quote, "At the time of the Constitution, Virginia constituted the most populous and wealthiest state
Damn, he ain't played
in
the
the
right
Union.
part.
But
Oh,
by
yeah,
the time of
here
the
you
Civil War, the 9/10 of the slave
for a minute.
the more," end of quote. Former President
Oh yeah, Frederick Douglass. Speaking of Cornel West, because he's trying to be the new Frederick Douglass.
Obama continued.
What is also true is that even after the end of formal slavery and the continuation of Jim Crow, the systematic oppression and discrimination of Black Americans resulted in Black families not being able to build up wealth, not being able to compete. And that has generational effects. So if you're thinking of what's just, you would look back and you would say the descendants of those who suffered those kinds of terrible, cruel, often arbitrary injustices deserve some sort of redress, some sort of compensation, a recognition.
A recognition? What do you call the war on poverty launched back?
So yeah, y'all get the point. So after like 6 years after Barack Obama left office, he was like, and he didn't say it on here because he said it would be a non-starter issue and it would piss white people off pretty much, you know, why I couldn't talk about that issue. But now, you know, I'm gonna go on here and say, yeah, Black people should have it, you know, like 6-7 years after they have left office. But anyway, speaking of Larry Elder, because he is running for president, and because they tried to trap him in with this gay stuff with Obama and stuff like that, you know, and so I'm gonna play just like his response to it because they tried to get him to talk about it. You know how they do.
No female scandal or anything like that. Recently, I mean, last podcast we talked about Tucker Carlson.
I know where you were going with that.
Yes, and there, here's my question.
I'm not gonna go there.
But here's my question, though, Larry. Why Tucker Carlson, probably, I mean, one of the highest streaming looked at eyeballs in the history of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Why, out of all people, at this specific time, would you bring up a man who has been on camera multiple times behind going on a
aware of this, or could have been aware of this, or should have been aware of this, but they wanted to protect Barack Obama and they circled the wagons around him the way they did around Jeremiah Wright. Remember when Jeremiah Wright came out?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the media is not talking about this until the video came out with him saying KKK, United States, and then they had to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just ask you directly because these guys are.
So I think that's what Tucker is saying, that this was a bombshell story. He probably would not have been elected if this had been covered by the media, and it's an example of how biased the media are. I think that's what he's saying.
I'll just ask you directly. These guys both kind of.
Negro,
Don't say these guys.
Stop dancing around the question, Negro.
You asked the question.
N-word. That's the N-word. I'm gonna say N-word.
Do I care whether Obama might be gay?
Do you think Obama's gay?
I have no idea. Don't care.
Yeah.
What I care about is what I said earlier, that he ran promising to be a racial uniter and divided us, and played the race card time and time again. Racism is in America's DNA. Are you effing kidding me?
What?
The first time Gallup asked white people if
2023,
they vote
y'all.
for a black president was in the 50s, and only around 30% said yes. Now only about 4% said they wouldn't vote for a black person. So how does
Hey, by the way, y'all, quick question. Which election did Barack Obama win the white vote in?
how does DNA change like that? That's what I'm angry about him for. He was a fraud. He was a fraud on racial conciliation, a huge fraud on that. The rest of the stuff, the tax suspending, regulating, I knew that. But you don't walk into the Oval Office with 70% approval rating.
Who are you talking about right now? You're talking about
Obama, yeah.
He's a fraud.
But Larry,
Negro, we asked you a different question. We asked you what you think about this gay stuff. You know what I'm saying? We come from Greek culture, right? So he's going back to his quote unquote his trained anti-blackness. Yeah, no, is he pulling the grace card? You know, all this stuff. Now, Negro, right? N-word, you have the tap dance shoes already, but you ain't tap dancing right. I don't want you to tap dance like this. I want you to tap dance this. Now we done went back to the Republican plantation because we couldn't stand the Democratic. We couldn't get down with the LBG and all the stuff that you're talking about, the shysters and the people of color and the migrants coming out. We left again because we couldn't take it no more. Now we back at the Republican plantation, right? With Larry Elder, you know what I'm saying? So Negro, tap dance like the way we want you to.
As much as you're saying you don't care, there's a huge percentage of the Republican base that actually believes this and actually believes that Michelle Obama isn't actually a man. They call her Big Mike. So
you see this? Because they actually try to call her, but they call black women as a whole that's what we don't get, because we think that we could somehow be separate, you know what I'm saying? And even the shysters, they get thrown, I mean, not the shysters, but the clones, like this clone here, you know what I'm saying?
as much as you're saying you don't care, there's a huge percentage of the Republican base that actually believes this and actually believes that Michelle Obama isn't actually a man. They call her Big Mike. So I know that this is not your thing.
I don't know anybody that calls her that.
Stop it, Larry. I didn't know.
See, now the thing is, clones can, and this is what y'all pay attention, they can only go so far, right? Now, Candace Owens got to apologize for stuff all the time because she hasn't got it full way down because it's like a scam for her. And this tech is a sellout. That's the very definition of a sellout. You know what I'm saying? And see, but the clones, like Tim Scott earlier, was like, oh, now we're going back to not Tim Scott, but whatchamacallit? Tim Scott. Now we're going back to 1963 because he know damn well what was going on in 1963. So even the clones know what's up, you know.
Before I came to Valuetainment 4 years ago, I never even heard that Michelle Obama was a man. I didn't think that Obama was gay, but I've heard this multiple times, hundreds of times. You must have heard this. And what do you say?
We are Greek. We only care about Greek stuff.
Say to that? What do you say to the Republican base who thinks that Michelle Obama is a freaking man and Obama's gay?
If the Republican base thought that Michelle Obama was every bit as graceful, as attractive as Jacqueline Kennedy, they still wouldn't have voted for him because of his policy. So it doesn't matter.
Oh boy.
It's inconsequential.
I don't know. I think you're skirting this one.
Go out there with the Phil Negroes.
Well,
but because some
you're not being the right kind of house Negroes. Go out there with them damn Phil Negroes for a night and see how you like it. And then I'm gonna ask you this question again. Do you think Michelle Obama is a man? Unfortunately, a lot of us would say, because we don't understand that they're trying to equate black women, like the whole ape thing, the monkey thing, the black woman being a man thing. That's all like supposed to be disses to us. You know what I'm saying? As a people, that's what they call her that. Like, you telling me, you know what I'm saying, that bitch Trump, the bitch didn't look more like a man. She probably had an Adam's apple. I mean, if you asking me, you know what I'm saying? And she originally probably supposed to be built like a teenage boy, but she got fake body parts and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And posing naked. But, you know, that it doesn't matter. We don't got to talk about that. And we get caught up in that too.
People are saying this, like I've heard, and Pat kind of brought it up, but I've been hearing this too, Larry, that the reason Tucker brought this up and had this guy speak is because, and how many times have we heard it, Pat, from how many people that Newsom's out, Newsom's saying he's not going to run. Yeah, the Kamala thing is
all right. Greek culture. All right. So let's get to, because good old Larry Elder and Cassandra brought it up. Because he got mad because no matter how much race carding he has done, the race card has been pulled on his handpots. You know what I'm saying?
All right, gang, here's the deal. As you know, I submitted 3 national polls as required, one of which was the Rasmussen poll. The RNC contacts me and says, I can't use Rasmussen because it's, quote, affiliated with the Trump campaign, close quote. I didn't know that. It's not affiliated with my campaign. Rasmussen says Trump did not pay for a poll, did not even suggest a poll, and that they have no business not using Rasmussen to be one.
They didn't have to turn around and sue these white folk. Now, these the ones who are against the shysters, you know what I'm saying? Because they ain't our friends either. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter which plantation that we look for in the universe, whether it be flat earth, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be a religious plantation, whether it be a Democratic, Republican plantation, a certain ideology plantation, there's only one thing that will ever help us, you know what I'm saying? Is building our own nation, right? So we don't got to be on nobody else's plantation, because until we feed ourselves, you know, it is what it is.
The polls that Elder submits. Also, after we found out they weren't going to accept Rasmussen, we submitted another poll where I'm over 1%. We didn't submit it until after the deadline because we didn't know that Rasmussen was going to be rejected, and the poll didn't publish.
Do Larry Elder got a girlfriend? He don't got a wife either. They ain't say it, but I wonder if he got a wife. They could use that point. That
results until after the deadline, but they finished their polling before the deadline. So 3 national polls have been submitted. Even if you exclude Rasmussen, there's no reason why we shouldn't be up there on that debate stage. Also, regarding Rasmussen, if you look at the Twitter,
no reason he shouldn't be up there on that debate stage. No reason. Will he be the first?
Submitted a quote strong qualification package exceeding the RNC's donor requirements, signing the party's loyalty pledge, meeting the polling requirement.
Signing their beat Biden loyalty pledge.
But was told one of those polls from Rasmussen did not.
Agreeing to allow the RNC to view their fundraising totals, right? He got 40,000 individual donors and 200 donors in 20 states.
Not qualify.
Republican presidential candidate Larry Elder joins us now with more. It looks like you have arrived safely in Milwaukee. Thanks for taking the.
What up, Coco? He said white ex-wife pulled the gun on her too. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Time out tonight, Larry. Always good to see you.
All right, hold on. I'm letting
you
minute play
mentioned the
while I walk away
emergency
for a
injunction,
second.
essentially a lawsuit that you're filing against RNC. Where does that stand right now?
Well, Marla, that's just one of our strategies. The other is this. The FEC has a rule. The rule is when you set forth criteria for your debate, you got to follow it. And if you don't follow it, you've essentially made an in-kind contribution to those that make the debate stage as opposed to those who followed the rules but didn't make the debate stage. That could be a substantial fine. That's just to the RNC.
Tim Scott, well, we already know about him. I don't know about this Indian boy, but
but also the Fox News for carrying the
can't
debate.
say the white
So there's
bitch,
another
unfortunately.
strategy too that we're also pursuing. But the bottom line is this:
He agree with them on the shyster thing. I think, you know what I'm saying. I think he agrees with them about, and I agree with him about that too, about the shyster point. You know what I'm saying. But it didn't matter, you know. Like, it don't matter which group they are. They're still not you. They're different. You know what I'm saying. They're not the same. Like, I would say a different species, but like they'd be like, yo, 2 species. I just found out that a zebra and a horse could have a baby, right? That's 2 different species. You know what I'm saying? They could be like, oh, they're both, you know, look the same. Well, one of them got like white and black stripes. One of them don't. You know what I'm saying? They're 2 different species, but they can have babies. You know what I'm saying? And then it looked like, and then the horse would be like, oh, no, well, you're a horse. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no damn zebra. You're a horse. Call yourself a horse. And then the zebra spit in his face every time you come around.
Filled the requirements. I submitted 3 polls where I got at least 1%. One of those polls, as you pointed out, was the Rasmussen poll. And they said that poll was not eligible because it.
All right. Enough crying. I guess I'm going to let him cry a little bit more.
On stage. Break down that action for us a little bit.
So, Brittany, you notice I wasn't on the stage last night. I met all the criteria, 40,000 individual donations, 200 had to come from 20 different states. We exceeded that. The problem is I needed to file 3 polls where I was at least at 1%. We did. After I did it, I get a phone call from Ronna McDaniel and the debate czar,
Oh man, we need to do some research on. I ain't gonna say that.
David Fossey. I'm sorry, Larry, one of the polls you submitted, we can't use. I said, why? And they said, it's the Rasmussen poll. It is, quote, affiliated with the Donald Trump campaign, close quote. And I said, assuming that is true, what does it have to do with me? And they said, well, any campaign that's affiliated with a poll, that poll we can't use. I said, the same poll, Rasmussen, that you guys quote all the time, the same poll, Rasmussen, that was the most accurate one in 2016.
Oh, almost like they're full of ish, huh?
You can't use it? They said yes. A few hours later, Brittany, on Twitter, Rasmussen puts a tweet and says, Trump had nothing to do with our poll, did not authorize it, did not commission it, did not even recommend it, and there's no reason why Larry Elder cannot use our poll as one of the official polls necessary for him to meet his criteria. Also, after we found out that they were not going to use Rasmussen, we submitted another poll that had me above 1%, but they said, well, you submitted that one too late. We wouldn't have submitted it late had we known you were going to disqualify one of the polls that we put up there. My lawyer is the former chair of the Federal Elections Commission, and he says the FEC sets forth the rules for debates, and once you set forth your criteria, you have to apply that criteria objectively.
Yeah, I'm about to watch Hollywood Shuffle after this, man. Lord have mercy. Let me finish this real quick.
Single makes Fox News also essentially giving an in-kind contribution to these 8 people, so that our lawyer argues that this could subject them to a fine of $100 million to the RNC
always be
and
on
to
Fox
Fox
News?
And we threatened, if I was not on that stage by 2 o'clock yesterday, we were going to drop the complaint. The complaint now going to be filed at 2 o'clock local time. I thought cooler.
He was not on the stage at 2 o'clock. I will just tell y'all right now, he was not on the stage.
If they're going to prevail, I assume that because Fox News, for example, is a publicly held corporation and they have a fiduciary obligation to avoid any unnecessary expense.
Maybe this lion, I assume this lion will give me the deer. You know why I say we're the deer? Because we get eaten. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real here. You know, I assume this lion was going to give me a rose, you know what I'm saying, and accept me into his tribe. Okay, go on.
I thought they put pressure on the RNC. If the RNC didn't see the light of day on their own, to put me up there, but they did not. So now we're going forth with this complaint, which we're filing, as I said, at 2 o'clock local time, and I'm still in Milwaukee right now.
Oh man!
Not only was I
had one where he was waiting on the plane.
Debate, I was barred from the debate venue. They posted a notice and told security
that nigga don't come on the premises.
Campaign showed up. Don't let him in. So what am I now? A terrorist?
Man, I'll tell him what he is. He's single. He don't have a wife. That's what he is. Oh wait, no, they allowed him in. Let me think. Oh, he's not gay. You know what I'm saying? I don't think. Let me see. What could be the reason? I don't know. I can't think of any reasons. Can y'all think of any reasons why they barred him off the premises? You know what I'm saying? Because the race card, I can't use that according to him. All right. You know what, y'all? You know, I'm gonna show. I don't mean to go so far, right? Because I want to show y'all one other thing. Or not one other thing, but we see where we go, no matter which plantation we try to run to, hasn't necessarily worked out in our favor. So I don't know, you know, all I can say is damn man, what's that freezing? But yeah, all I can say is, you know what I'm saying, yeah. I don't know when we're gonna start learning our lesson, no matter which plantation that we run to, no matter what we do, you know what I'm saying? And this is what's going on with all of the black presidential candidates as we speak, you know what I'm saying? How all of them, no matter what side that they thought was their friend, thought was with them, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't. And our political alarm clocks are starting to go off, hopefully. Now, with the Democrats, there are technically no black people who was in the Democrats. Hold on, I'm trying to come on here, share the last part of it, because I'm about to be done. I'm gonna make this last part quick, because now my stuff's starting to mess up. But at least I got through that part, you know what I'm saying? But as far as it goes, you know what I'm saying, there was only one group, you know what I'm saying, who was with it, you know. All right, so now here we go. So, oh yeah, one group mad, the Democrats mad at Cornel West, but let me play just play this one, because I was just looking on this dude channel and I just seen this one because he's trying to go at Mark Lamont Hill
because he crossed the ADL. Oof. And then he got his mind right, because now this is the kind of stuff that Mark Lamont Hill tweets. He said Elon Musk's attack.
It's because y'all like to talk about, because we're going to talk about the shysters too. It don't matter which group it is, you know what I'm saying? They all, it's a problem. Why don't we get it? I don't care who they are. All of them do the same thing, you know what I'm saying? If you name a group, I can tell you specifically what that group did, you know what I'm saying? It comes down to that, and we don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And here is the good old shysters when it comes to some. We all know Mark Lamont Hill and he probably supporting Cornel West. You know what I'm saying? He probably a Cornel West supporter.
Attack on the ADL is dangerous, dishonest, and deeply anti-Semitic. He has turned this platform into an unprofitable white supremacist cesspool. Instead of taking accountability, he has chosen to not so subtly scapegoat Jews, which invites violence from the Nazis, his Nazi base. So Mark Lamont Hill is a complete tool of the establishment. He got his mind right. Once they fired him from CNN for telling the truth about Palestine and Israel, that was it. He's never going to do it again. He's never going to cross anybody in a meaningful way, because he likes his position in the establishment. Because you want to know the story that happened to him? They fired him
guys all shook.
In wakes of criticizing Israel and calling for a free Palestine. They fired him. CNN fired Mark Lamont Hill on Thursday after the longtime contributor made comments about Israel during a UN speech. Hill, a media studies professor at Temple University, had drawn scrutiny for calling for a free Palestine from the river to the sea. Some mainstream Jewish groups, including the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, expressed frustration with Hill's remarks, which also included endorsing the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. So you can't be for BDS. Yeah. That's anti-Semitic, according to the ADL. Fox News also.
Now, I'll tell you this: the most anti-Semitic group whoever uses the word anti-Semitic is the most anti-Semitic that there was. You know what I'm saying? Especially the shysters, because they feel like, oh, we're the only people. You know, it's white on white crime. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say anti-Semitic, you know what I'm saying? That's what they are, because they go against the Semitic speaking people, especially the black ones, which is the only ones I care about. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? That's their issue. They can fight all day. I hope they, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you fall in line when it comes to the shysters, you know, and we are shook, but it's not just one group. And yeah, the shysters are definitely, because we don't understand how, like, because we argue about like the identity and all that stuff. All these other groups, they are their own cultures, but they're all still come from this, even because it's just, if you pay attention to their logic, if you pay attention to their actions, you know what I'm saying? The way they do things, the food that they eat, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff you would see, right? They're all different tribes within the same whatever species that they are, you know what I'm saying? And we don't realize that, you know what I'm saying? We be like, yo, in the words of Cornel West, my brother, you know, and this shyster thing. And then, yeah, they act like, and the thing that they make some shysters, they be like, oh, well, we not this. Yeah, when you name all of the people who are in the music industry, who is it? It's shysters. When you be like the TV and all of this stuff, it's shysters. When you look at the history, I can go through they was a part of the blackface stuff. That's how they tried to get accepted, just like the Irish, right? Because the Irish wasn't shysters, but they did the same thing, just like the Italians, right? They did the same thing, just like every single group today, right? Just like the quote unquote Hispanics, right? Because now the black dude is the Black Trump now, because he's like, yo, these Hispanics is doing this now. It's every single group, and until we understand that, it's crazy to me, because we be like, go to the Olympics wearing everybody's flag. I got the American flag, I got the British flag, I got the German flag, I got the French flag, I got the, you know, capitalist flag, I got the socialist flag, I got the everything with black flag, you know what I'm saying? Because we go at each other first before anybody else. But these are certain tactics, younger generation, you don't pick up from us.
Fan the flames. Hill has been pushing back against the criticism, arguing that the detractors were ascribing to his statements meaning that wasn't there. In my speech, I talked about the need to return to the pre-1967 borders to give full rights to Palestine, earmarks as a call to an endorsement of violence. So he got his mind right.
Damn, I didn't mean to do that. My bad.
And now he says stuff like this. He was saying that it is absurd on its face, and then he went, I'm sorry.
I've been re-educated.
I didn't know this other stuff.
See, if y'all didn't understand, all of them is a problem. You know what I'm saying? You could talk about whatever. Some people, oh, well, it's the LB, it's the migrants, it's the shysters, it's the, you know, whatever. It's all of them. You know what I'm saying? And the only remedy to that is to build our own stuff just to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't trust, I can't trust a redneck, a shyster, Indian, you know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all love the East Indians. I can't trust to deliver my children, you know what I'm saying? And the way that I could, the people in my particular group, you know what I'm saying? And especially, that's why I want to especially push the education for that, because I know that we love loving and caring people, and we just ain't gonna do certain sick stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just that we try to be a part of so much stuff, you know. Anyway.
So he didn't want to lose his position at his compliant black public figures. Here's my theory. Mark is a member of the professional left, which is based heavily in the nonprofit sector of academia. In order to secure foundation grants for the NGOs and or tenure-track academic jobs, professional leftists...
And he say that, though, as if he isn't what he is, like a paid person to whatever group that he's in. Like, we should be paying ourselves to represent ourselves, whether it be like with the police force or whatever it is that we need. It's crazy.
Must maintain respectability in the eyes of the liberal establishment. Performative tirades against liberal villains like Elon and the Bad Orange Man signal to the elites who propel their ambitions that they are ultimately on the same side, while enabling them to in an unfair attack.
And I'm playing this because this is the shysters, because they not out the hook. Is every single body that practices it. You know what I'm saying? I think we only got the heart to look at it, at ourselves, you know?
There's nothing bizarre about it, Elon. Yes, I've been unfairly targeted by the ADL. That doesn't negate the fact that you... So you know this is a garbage organization.
Huh.
He knows it. He has it firsthand, but he doesn't want to lose his place in polite society and the neoliberal establishment.
Yep.
He does not want to lose his place. That doesn't negate the fact that you amplify anti-Semitic threads, positively engage white nationalist users, and this is all to divide the country.
Mm-hmm.
This is all to keep us fighting and hating each other over stuff that's invented.
Invented? Yeah, they didn't invent killing us. Well, I guess they did invent it, right? You know what I'm saying? But new ways to do it, you know what I'm saying? But they came in and took our stuff, and there's no way, because we don't have, obviously, no matter which plantation we run to, they don't have the same objective as us, no matter whatever you side with. Like, and I don't get how we don't understand that. Check this out, right? And y'all probably be going, and let me know if y'all want the link in this, because I'm almost done, you know what I'm saying? If not, then I'm gonna get out of here. But I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I think this is something that I want to say, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But listen to this. There a black employee, and this is what they say, a manual, and whatever you say, you know, because they be like, what's the those letters that they were saying, and Consider been talking about it. Those letters is fake, but the Willie Lynch letters is fake, but look at how we acting it out. Now, this black employee found a manual on how to handle my N-word employees. Hopefully it plays. Let me play it. Let me see.
When I saw that, I think that we who are not of color sometimes sit in our happy, secure places and want to believe that this kind of thing doesn't go on anymore.
Attorney Kathy Lauder-LaJour says she is disturbed by the paperwork she received from her client, DeAndre Adams. Paperwork titled The N-Word Owner's Manual.
I've never seen anything like this.
Adams has worked for the Obion County Highway Department for 7 years and says he's experienced racism in this workplace before.
A guy who was a foreman at the place one day fashioned a noose and
let's see how they handle their Negroes on their plantations.
Waved it at Mr. Adams with some comment to the effect of, ain't this part of your heritage?
2 weeks ago, Adams says he was going through a file cabinet he uses on a regular basis when he found the
almost looked like he got him a white bitch, you know what I'm saying?
4-page manual. It gives instructions on how to install, configure, house, entertain, and even kill African Americans.
How to house, entertain, and even kill. Let's run because I missed some stuff.
And even kill. Instructions on how to install, configure, house, entertain, and even kill African Americans. It also has headlines like, "My N-word keeps raping white women."
Those things that look like little teenage boys. You know why? Because some of us do try to jump on the stuff where our sisters are women and, you know, look like women. They do not like what you can even like. I'm not even talking about nothing else but how they look. Are y'all telling me, like, y'all gonna have to name them? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to show me these things, you know what I'm saying? That looks better, you know what I'm saying? Visually alone, like, and let's go to the real world right now where we just human beings, you know what I'm saying, looking around, just like we don't know anything about anybody. Are you telling me, you show me these things and then try to call, and if they look like men, I can only imagine what the other ones look like then.
Adams told his attorney he complained to his supervisor, but was told not to say anything and that he would take care of it. But Adams feels like nothing was done. I called the department to get their side.
Do I just refer all questions? You guys don't have anything you want to add?
They told me they did not have anything to say, but to call their lawyer, Steve Conley. Conley told me he is looking into all of the allegations and has asked Adams for the original copy, but has not received it. He also says whoever is responsible for this will be disciplined.
Horrible what I just read.
Decarius Stevens is from Union City and says he's not surprised by.
All right, so, you know, maybe we'll call the NAACP to get on it. But I'm going to play this one more time for what they said, you know what I'm saying? Even if you call it like the Willie Lynch letters, they say it ain't real, but you damn sure acted out.
When he found the 4-page manual, it gives instructions on how to install, configure, house, entertain, and even kill African Americans.
Install, entertain, house, and even kill Negroes. And they said, my Negro keeps, and they didn't say Negro, keeps raping white boys, you know? And speaking of that, this is the last thing that I'm going to show, all right? You know what I'm saying? Last thing. I'm sorry, but I had to show this last thing, you know? Yo, now, I don't know if you've seen this, brother, because I've been giving y'all a pass on the white bitches lately, so I'm going to give y'all white bitch dose, because they was like, how do you corral your N-word, you know what I'm saying? And it looks like we've been pretty corralled. And they was like, my N-word keeps raping white bitches. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. This coach of this Michigan State, you know what I'm saying? I agree with Bakari because I've been seeing a lot of black people like, oh, I'm a Colorado fan now because it was like, that's kind of crazy. And people that didn't say that about Jackson State. And that shows the self-hate, I think. You know what I'm saying? Just off of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just people just talking, but that's their subconscious talking, you know? But this brother at a well, I guess I can go there and listen to Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to HBCU, listen to Kamala Harris speeches. But this is what happened if I go to a white school looking for one of those white bitches.
Alert. Breaking news in the sexual harassment scandal that has rocked Michigan State University. Suspended MSU football coach Mel Tucker now responding to those claims. Through his attorney, he has released this 2-page statement that details his timeline of events over the last 2 years. It tops our news tonight at 6. Good to have you with us. I'm Devin Skillian.
Good evening. I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill tonight. Sean Lay has been reading through that statement since we received it about 2 hours ago. Sean, there is a lot of information that he shares in that statement.
And now, Karen and Devin, a brand new statement from the university interim president here, Teresa Woodruff. We've been here trying to dig, asking this question all day long. Who knew what, when about these disturbing allegations against their coach? Why did MSU suspend him and only talk about this after USA Today dropped that bombshell report yesterday? Well, the interim president, their hands has to be a hearing that has not been held.
Now, I want you to
Mel Tucker
hear
coming out
the
in a
evidence
big way,
first.
defending himself this way. He has a lot to say. Mel Tucker says he helped bring Brenda Tracy to campus in the summer of 2021 because he says he supports her mission of
Helped bring her to the campus in 2021. I wonder why, you know what I'm saying? Because, human race is just one race, Not all of them is bad. There is a particular group that maybe we can side with. She ain't Italian, you know what I'm saying?
sexual misconduct prevention. Tucker says, quote, "We developed a mutual friendship that grew into an intimate adult relationship. At this point, my wife and I had been estranged for a long time. Ms. Tracy and I engaged in dozens of calls throughout fall 2021 and winter 2022, many of which she initiated and which occurred late at night. We both talked about all sorts of intimate, private matters." In his statement just released, Tucker blasts the investigation, calling an upcoming hearing a sham and one-sided. Tucker makes a point to reveal how he gave Tracy gifts and how she accepted. Quote, "Miss Tracy admitted requesting and accepting my gift of expensive athletic shoes."
Y'all be like a simp. Like he gave her $200 Venmo payment, bought her shoes, contributed to her nonprofit. She probably feed children in Africa or act like she a doctor in Africa or something. She has her Venmo ID to receive money. And yeah, she sent him naked pictures for like $60 probably.
A $200 Venmo payment, and a personal contribution to her nonprofit. Not only did she accept those gifts, but she had to provide me her shoe size and address to receive the shoes and her Venmo ID to receive the money. Yes, I did have late night intimate conversation with Ms. Tracy in April 2022. April 2022, Tracy says she froze.
Now he went to the caves of the Caucasus Mountains and found this joint. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go that far. All right. So, but he did find this joint, brought her to Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Bought her all of this stuff, and she got the expectation shirt on. And so I guess that's what happened. And now look at him.
Says she listened to Tucker performing a sex act over the phone and engaging in graphic sexual talk with her. She says it was absolutely unwanted. Tucker.
Now she's saying he raped her over the phone. She's saying that he raped her over the phone. Right? She heard him doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it was unwarranted. And she felt like she was sexually assaulted. This white bitch is saying that this brother raped her over the freaking phone, bruh.
Intimate conversation with Ms. Tracy in April 2022. April 2022, Tracy says she froze as she listened to Tucker performing a sex act over the phone and engaging in graphic sexual talk with her. She says it was absolutely unwanted. Tucker says, quote, "She initiated the discussion that night, sent me a provocative."
Not only was it over the phone, she started it. And listen to what she did. She started it, right? And he fell for the trap. It has worked time and time again. And y'all be like, I go too far with this, and I try to give y'all dose of white bitches, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all haven't had enough. Because obviously, I get it. I'm a man, but damn, you know what I'm saying?
The discussion that night sent me a provocative picture of the two of us together, suggested what she may look like without clothes, and never once during the 36 minutes did she object in any manner, much less hang up the phone. Back your
So yeah, she didn't hang up. She didn't say she hung up the phone up. You know what I'm saying? She just said, I stopped and listened to him do it for like 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she said that he raped her over the phone. Literally. You know what I'm saying? This black coach, you know what I'm saying, who he brought in. You know what I'm saying? It's saying that, oh man, this is the you know, the manual on how to control black people. You know what I'm saying? You send in the white bitch. I think I heard I forget who I heard. You bring in the white bitch, or you bring in the missionary. Then you bring in the white bitch, you know what I'm saying? Then you bring in something else, and then you bring in the guns, you know what I'm saying? But like, damn, bro.
Outside Spartan Stadium, that is just scratching the surface of what Mel Tucker has to say. The entire statement, of course.
He done bought her, he done bought her shoes, sent her money to the thing, then donated to her quote unquote nonprofit, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what that could be like? It's crazy. And she started these conversations, and now she's saying that he raped her over the phone. That's crazy.
The surface of what Mel Tucker has to say. The entire statement, of course, you can read it right on clickondetroit.com. Also, interim president's new letter to students. It also has a lot of information in it on clickondetroit.com. Guys, I talk
crazy. Michigan State, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I know Bukhari because Bukhari mentioned it, Shanique, you know what I'm saying? Because he'll be mad if we talk about these HWC or whatever, HWCUs. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Brothers over there lost in the sauce, you know what I'm saying? Now, after this, this is what they're saying, you know, this is what happened to this brother.
State University sports program faces another sexual misconduct case this morning. Head football coach Mel Tucker has been suspended.
That's what she was, though. That's what she was. And it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing, you know what I'm saying? White bitches, like, because they're if there was a religion that Black people followed, it would be the religion of white bitches that we subscribe to the most, more than Christianity, because the Christians gonna let a white bitch in the church too. They're gonna probably be they're not gonna be the first ones to marry a white bitch, you know what I'm saying? I would say that, you know, but they accept them too. So that's the biggest religion, you know what I'm saying? Since we saw them in the cave and we had to make the Arab or whatever, the East Indian, or whichever one was first, whichever one was first.
After USA Today reported on harassment allegations against him. Our national correspondent, Jerika Duncan, has the details, and we must warn you, they are disturbing.
You know that can't compare to no white bitch, Black Vegas. Yo, no, yeah, you're right though. The internet is like at our hand. We got like phones where we could like, but you know what I'm saying? It does not matter what technology that we possess. This does not hold a candle to the white bitch.
Correspondent Jerika Duncan has
the most dangerous species in the universe.
The details, and we must warn you, they are disturbing.
I have suspended Mel Tucker without pay.
Michigan State University is taking action.
Why? And then they always bring the brother up to make the announcement. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not racist, of course. You know, we're not. This is Michigan State University. We may have made our money by slaving you Negroes, but now we can certainly give you scholarships to run a football or play basketball. So we're not racist at all. You know what I'm saying? We're okay with. We have diversity programs. You know what I'm saying? We have. Let 2 Black people come in the last 6 years, you know, whatever, on our specialty program. Now I know that affirmative action is loose, but that only hurts the white bitches who get it the most, you know.
I have suspended Mel Tucker without pay.
Michigan State University is taking action after published reports detailing allegations of sexual harassment by head football coach Mel Tucker. USA Today says it was contacted by Brenda Tracy,
Ain't that
a
something?
sexual awareness expert hired by Tucker to speak to his team.
Brenda filed
A sexual awareness expert that he hired to talk to his team. He probably found her on Instagram too. Like, you know, I'm making assumptions now, but I take that back. But a sexual expert that he hired to talk to his team. What, bro? And by the way, speaking of apes, speaking of monkeys, speaking of men, tell me who got a, is this not a man face? You know what I'm saying? I get it. We're sick. But speaking of women, supposedly females that look like men, and I say females, and I say black women, but I say females. But speaking of females that look like men,
Tracy, a sexual awareness expert hired by Tucker to speak to his team.
Brenda filed a complaint in
Oh, yeah,
December
no.
2022, alleging specifically that during a phone call in April 2022,
no, they wouldn't have believed the black. And not only that, they would have been like, yo, the black woman is our number one enemy. You know what I'm saying? That creates our downfall. But, you know, white bitches get a pass. You know what I'm saying? They get a pass there. And I got kicked out the cookout a long time ago, but the white bitches is there.
call in April 2022, Mel Tucker made sexual comments to her and masturbated without her.
No, it wasn't. She probably retarded as hell. It was that white skin that caught him a long time ago. I'm willing to bet. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that much game, you know what I'm saying? Other than the history that they have and the influence that they have. But listen, that's like me saying, like, oh, that cave bitch that we saw that created the first Arab, you know what I'm saying? The Neanderthal had game. I don't know. Is it malfunction? You know what I'm saying?
Made sexual comments to her and masturbated without her consent.
MSU defends its decision not to suspend Tucker months ago after it completed its own investigation in late July. A hearing on whether Tucker violated school policy is scheduled for next month.
If there's still ongoing processes that still need to be played out.
According to
Oh, forget all the facts. Forget all the facts. We're just gonna get rid of them now.
Processes that still need to be played out.
According to documents obtained by USA Today, Tucker did not deny
It is a
his
pretty
behavior
tough
to
jawline.
investigators, but said it was consensual.
There are people who do not trust the university to do the right thing in these situations.
It took years of complaints before former MSU gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar was convicted of sexually abusing students in 2018. The university says since then, it has been working to regain the community's trust.
This morning's news might sound like the MSU of old. It was not.
What, 1869 MSU?
If fired, Tucker stands to lose the remaining $80 million left on his $95 million 10-year contract.
It could be a monumental fall for somebody who had reached the upper echelon of college sports coaches.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Jerika Duncan.
No, what you mean, Black Megas? No, this brother is the one that got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know he was, but I'm saying the brother was the one that got hurt, not the white bitch. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a black woman ain't had nothing to do with it. This brother is hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother here. In the words of Cornel West, my brother here is the one that got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't think they would take it to that level because he wouldn't. Let's be real. He would not have put that money in her Cash App. He wouldn't have not donated to her nonprofit organization. Like he would have messed with her, but he was not getting her hired because number one, there's I guess we got to get rid of affirmative action. So never mind. Anyway, man, I've been on here long enough. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so let me show this positive thing. This is the positive thing that I'm gonna show. I showed this before, but I was speaking to black bears. It's hard to find positive stuff, so I'm gonna just show this again because the youth listen and learn from us and learn from our mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We might be lost in the sauce, but y'all got hope. You know what I'm saying? And as long as y'all don't make any mistakes, because we looked at every single black president, or candidate that we have today, from Cornel West, Tim Scott, you know what I'm saying, Larry Elder, you know, all of the black people running for president at the same time for all different reasons, you know what I'm saying, we see where we are. And I'm going to show this young brother, no matter what he has already been indoctrinated with or not, or whatever it is, he's the youngest black mayor in the U.S. right now, you know what I'm saying? And I would hope that you, as the youth, you know what I'm saying, understand who you are, understand that we have no friends, understand that we all we got, understand that their question, the Negro question, is something different from all of their countries. It's for them until we build something that's for us. And then we have our own political, you know what I'm saying, things, you know, or we make our own movements, or, you know, we vote amongst ourselves for our own things, you know what I'm saying, that makes a difference. And hopefully you can learn from the mistakes that we made. So let me play this young brother who was the youngest black mayor in America right now, just for the positive thing.
And problem solved already. So it's just amazing, you know, getting all these interviews and different things, like speaking with different people about my why and my purpose.
His why: beautifying the city, housing, and improving public safety, starting with a 24/7 police department, plus bringing a grocery store in town, which the city currently lacks. All that Smith knows won't be an easy task.
I'm a little nervous, but throughout my high school time, I've been preparing. I'm a go-getter. So whatever the city needs, I'm gonna get.
4 months ago, Action News 5 was the first to travel to Earl, Arkansas to speak with him. In August, he was fresh out of high school, and now his first job has won him the title of mayor.
It's not gonna take just me making our city better. It's gonna take myself, the city council, the people, to work together as a team, collaborative, to move our city forward.
His message to those who believe he might be too young for the position:
no, because I use that as motivation to me, to prove them wrong.
You'd be like, yo, y'all dropped the ball, now it's my turn. Nah, I feel your answer. It's my turn, you know what I'm saying? I agree. MG2 shouldn't be on the front lines, you know what I'm saying? It should be me and the rest of us, you know, but it's just not, you know, so we all on the front lines at this point.
In Memphis, Taylor Tucker, Action News 5.
Thanks.
We're gonna find something to question about anything, you know what I'm saying? No matter what we do, you know what I'm saying? We have to be perfect to us, most importantly. And even though our political alarm clocks, our reality alarm clocks that we go every single day has been going off for the last 600 years, you know what I'm saying? I think that we continue to press snooze on it, and no matter how much we try to separate ourselves from the rest, until somebody has made a physical change in something that has never been solved, you know what I'm saying, we are repeating the same cycles over and over. Damn, I meant to show something with Obama too, you know what I'm saying, because they getting rid of some of his bills, but I guess it's too late for that, because they're trying to get rid of some of the stuff that he did. But guess who it was for? It was for DACA and the illegal immigrants, and now they're trying to revise that, you know what I'm saying? And guess who got affected? Just like everything in a socialist society, guess who's the most hurt? In a capitalist society, guess who's the most hurt? Because at the end of the day, we are all we got, you know what I'm saying? And even though our alarm clocks are going off, and no matter what it is, if a person is out there trying to do stuff, and I didn't even show that it was for like black people only or nothing, but it's a young brother who's a mayor at 18 years old. And if that's what you believe in, then go be that and make that change, you know what I'm saying? But until we are creating our own and doing our own thing, you know what I'm saying, we got to stop hitting this snooze button when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what? I said enough though. I'm gonna let these be the last words, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let this be the last words.
Your thoughts? It's
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason.
That's how we sound, y'all.
This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, the I can't breathe. You know, that wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up and you're getting these tweets and you just don't know. And you're going to the store and people who have been afraid to show
Wait,
their
you mean like the market or the Dollar General or the supermarket? Oh, okay.
racism are getting nastier and nastier to you, and you're worried about your kids and you're worried about your sister. And can she just go to Walmart and get back into her car without somebody saying something to her? And you spent so much of your life energy just trying to hold it together.
You get the last word.
And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters. You know, I just want my sons to look at this. Look at this. You know, it's easy to do it the cheap way and get away with stuff, but it comes back around. It comes back around. And this is a good day for this country. I'm sorry for the people who lost. For them, it's not a good day. But for a whole lot of people, it's a good day.
Sorry for y'all who lost, because we damn sure lost. Joseph R. Biden Jr. And this is y'all boy here. All right, I'll stop on a positive note. This is a positive note for y'all. Cornell West, you might want to run because this dude might fall down the stairs tomorrow and the jaw tomorrow. Oh man. And how his wife was seeing those tears when she was taking everything from his ass.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah. I keep on taking these things off.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, the other one, he was like, it was the stage fault. Now it's the bike fault.
Mr. President, made up your mind on China tariffs, Mr. President.
Oh man. All right, it's one more. Okay, this is the last one. This is a high note, because I know no matter what Obama is, he ain't gonna fall this many times up the stairs at all. Even if he take one fall, he gonna at least get back up. He's not gonna fall this many times. This is another thing that I can say. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's gay or not, even to being the mulatto that he is, he ain't gonna fall this many times. All right, Cornell West, you only one flight of stairs away from winning the presidency, my brother. That's all I can say to you. Yo, all right, so shouts out to Shanique. Shouts out to Shanique. Shouts out to my brother Black Megas. Highly favored, you know what I'm saying? Raw probably still in the building. MD2. Shouts out to Coco. Shouts out to Consider. Consider probably but yo, check out the rest of this Consider. Y'all subscribe to Consider channel, you know what I'm saying? I probably should have did it earlier so she could check it out. Shouts out to brother Bakari who was in the building. Who else was in the shouts out to Jermaine Thompson. Shouts out to Erica Howard. You know what I'm saying? I know that she be listening, but it'd be difficult for her sometimes. So shouts out to Erica Howard, Koku, my brother Bobby Wright, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my brother Bobby Wright, you know what I'm saying? And shouts out to all of y'all. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something or we're gonna keep falling for anything.